All right. Hello. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good fucking day, whatever it is. We're back in the Prem. And you know what happens as soon as we get back in the Prem? Them scum from London that are called Chelsea, that are owned by an American who has no fucking idea what he's doing, come along and start pinching, our manager this time. It's been players in the past, hasn't it? What is it with Chelsea? Are they just Chelsea not the biggest load of shit on this planet? Well, no, maybe because you have got Arsenal to consider. Yeah, and I suppose Tottenham as well. It's just fucking London, isn't it? You know, look, all joking aside, it is what it is. I mean, we will possibly go and if we get a manager that isn't out of work, then we're going to get a manager that is at another club, and therefore that manager will probably be leaving the club to come to us. So it's all relative, really. But it's just annoying. Now, I must admit, when they signed Fofana, I did say I hope he broke his leg and never played football again. It's looking that way. £60 million for a sick note. Thank you, Chelsea. Maybe Enzo will get struck by lightning when he walks out onto the pitch for the first time. We live in hope. But look, joining me today, and I'm not sure what's happening with my layouts here, but let's bring him in and say, hi, Mike. Mike, obviously,
Man United,
very happy after the other day, I'm sure.
Yeah, FA Cup final, as a neutral, it's the one game you look forward to. It's sort of like it should be the last game of the season. Obviously, we know Leeds played the Championship playoff final, but when you're in it, you just sense that buzz of occasion. Obviously, you guys got it when you beat Chelsea, and that sense of just getting one over on Man City felt even more sweeter. And the fact Leeds lost the day at Wembley the day after as well made it even better.
I have to, well, yes, as spoken as a true Man United fan, your hatred for Leeds goes deeper than mine does. But look, yeah, I'm going to say you deserved it. You were the better team, and I'm going to say Southampton deserved it. I thought they outplayed. But before we get into it, let's just see. We've got some comments flying in as I would have expected. Scott, who do you want? Well, we'll come on to the next manager in a little bit, Scott. But good afternoon, Strip Bear. Thank you, Leicester, from a Chelsea lover. You're welcome, mate. Like I say, with any luck, he'll get hit by lightning as soon as he walks out onto the pitch for the first time. We live in hope, and I'm going to go to church on Sunday and pray for that. Hi, guys. Saints fan here. Great to be up with you lot again this season. I think we'll both stay up. Interesting to see who Leicester appoints as their new manager. Yeah, it is, and it's going to have a knock-on effect now. Once the first one moves, which it has done, like I say, anybody, well, let's face it, we might get Ten Hag. You never know if he's out of a job in a week or two.
I keep refreshing Twitter, so fingers crossed.
They'll be daft if they get rid of him, but there we go. This is football, and sense doesn't come into any decisions. Afternoon, Gray. Enzo goes, let's go for De Zerbi. Bad blood, mate. No, look, like I say, it's just if Barcelona had come in for Poch rather than you sacking Poch, you'd have been saying the same about Barcelona. It's football. It is what it is. We have to get up. We have to get on with it. Yeah, they are. Chris Gray agrees with me. Andreas, hi, Chris. Then it is the Leicester City roller coaster. Joseph says Rosenior. So, John, hi, John. 1 year to management and he's buggering off. No loyalty. He went apparently. I made me laugh. You'll appreciate this, Mike. But when he signed for Leicester, it was, I want a long-term project.
All right.
I've just seen the Chelsea perspective, and I've nothing against that particular podcast at all. In fact, I go on his show, he comes on mine. But he was just doing a Twitter live, and the title of it was Chelsea long-term, Maresca to Chelsea long-term plans. And I'm like, really?
I mean, like I said, Chris, they can end up sacking him, and his manager stock is going to go down massively. So it's his own fault, really.
It is. Look, I get it totally. I'll just catch up with a few more comments. West Bromwich Albion management, me, says Craig. Maybe, but it's rather rich. That's lets a lot. Maybe, but he's rather rich. That lets a lot off. Not sure what you mean there, Strip, but Spencer's in. James, what now for Leicester? You'll become a yo-yo club. Better that than being owned by what used to be a warmonger's best friend and now a clueless American. But look, each to their own, Strip. Hi, guys. Who will be our new manager? Well, we'll say we'll come on to that. Just want to be here, then sod off. Exactly. Jeff, I think a lot of LCFC bought this on themselves. I think fans got behind him. I don't think it would have made any difference if we got behind him. But like I say, we'll come on to all these points. Luke is in. If he doesn't want to stay, then he'll be no good. Exactly. This has got people talking. He's always going to use this as a stepping stone. Yes, he was. His head for me, Thomas Enzo won the league, gave us 97 points. It still wasn't good enough for some. Steps are handy things. Yes, they are. At least they don't buy the fucking league. Well, tried to. I don't know. I think they did buy the league when Abramovich was there, didn't they? I don't think they did it organically. Game has no loyalty. It doesn't at all. I'm not going to lie. I don't think Maresca is even that good. Easily replaceable. Chelsea will go through 2 or 3 managers again. Todd Bowley, another clueless clown. I don't Strip's getting look, Strip, just it's banter, mate. It's banter. You don't expect us to come on and say good luck to him and we love Chelsea for doing it, do you? Let's be honest. But look, Mike, yes, he was always kind of going to use us as a stepping stone, wasn't he?
Yes, but the fact that he came in under a 3-year contract, I believe it was, or 2. Well, no,
3 year, 3 year.
Yeah. So he's already come in knowing that ideally, yes, the team Leicester had in the Championship was one of the favourites to go up, but the plan wasn't to go straight back up. It was Burnley wasn't. Burnley's plan wasn't to go straight back up. It was to rebuild, go again. So he's got you up at the first time of asking. Surely, like the next step from there would be keep Leicester in the league and then mid-table, try and get them to mid-table. That would be a 3-year contract gone. And then whether he wants to continue beyond that or whether he wants to sort of, then leave or then extend the contract from the end of the 3rd year of the contract, then that should have been the thing. The fact he's come out, officially and said, quote unquote, it's a long-term plan. And after a year, he's seen the other side of the bridge, and he's like, I want to jump ship, sort of thing. I just think it's poor.
It is, but look, let's have a look at it. Let me take my blue tinted glasses off for a minute. I used to work, believe it or not, for, and I know it's hard to believe, but I did used to have a job. And I was approached by one of my customers saying, would I meet him? And he took me out for lunch and offered me a job, offered me a lot more money than I was on. And what was I going to say? And when I was going home, I said, I want to think about it. When I was driving home, he rang me up and said, I'm going to give you another £1,000 a year on top of what I've offered to help you make your decision. And I'd been where I was working since I'd moved down south. And I'd been there, I must have been there about 10 years. I was supervisor. It was a cozy job, to be honest with you. And money spoke, and I left and went. I stayed there, 3 months, and then went back to where I was working before. But you have to have a look at, it's a job. This guy has got no loyalty to Leicester. If Real Madrid came in for Ten Hag, would he go? Let's be honest with you, probably yes at the moment, wouldn't he? Because there is always a bigger job somewhere down the line. And Leicester, yes, we won the FA Cup and the league just, in the last 9 years. But Chelsea are a bigger club at the moment. So he's going to go there. And look, it's been a year, and this isn't his fault. He didn't say to Chelsea, come in for me, as far as we know. It was Chelsea that said they were going to come in for him. So I can't blame him because, like I said, when Potter went to Chelsea, yes, it didn't work out. I think it would have worked out given time. I just think it was, like I say, Bowley being clueless. But if he hadn't said yes when he said yes, would that job have come along for him again?
You could look at it in that, but then you could also look at it in the flip side. So I'll try and like get it from both points of view. Yes, you never know when that job may come available ever again. However, if Potter would to stay at Brighton a bit more to increase his stock and increase his value, just like Maresca staying at Leicester for a season in the Premier League, then that may inflate his managerial sort of reputation, and then maybe he goes on from there. But on the side of him leaving for this job, as much as obviously I'm follow Leicester quite a lot of with obviously watching your channel and stuff like that, and obviously the Championship I watched a lot of last season.
Yeah,
it's a big opportunity, like Kate said, or Dave in the other stream. It's London. It's everything is a lot sort of everything's a more opportunity whilst living in London for him. He's got young kids as well, so that side of it you can kind of understand why he's just accepted it. But loyalty is difficult in football, because unless you're like a local lad, like what Shrewsbury Hall is for Leicester, or something like that, the loyalties don't mean anything. It's sad, but this is why people put these contracts in place.
Look, we were absolutely we were absolutely unbelievable. We couldn't believe that we'd actually got Rodgers when we signed Rodgers. He had a couple of good seasons. Well, he had more than a couple of good seasons with us. He had 3 or 4 good seasons with us before it started to go wrong. But, when he was doing well, he was being linked with Man United, Spurs, Arsenal, I believe, Barcelona. And we were saying, that he ain't going anywhere. We don't want him. We want to keep him. He's not going. Get off, Spurs. Fuck off, go and find somebody else. Within 18 months, we wanted him sacked. So we have no loyalty as fans. We demand loyalty from players. We demand loyalty from Enzo, and we demanded loyalty from Rodgers. But then we wanted him sacked because he was doing a bad job.
It's a difficult stance to come from, but you can very, very slight. Leicester fans don't want to hear this, obviously, but slightly you can probably see where Enzo's thinking is. It's not in any direct harm to Leicester City Football Club or any hatred to the club. He will probably mention Leicester City in all of his interviews, whatever jobs he goes on to achieve, because Leicester were the first real team that give him a chance. Palmer just binned him off after 13, 14 games, I think it was. Leicester gave him a season. They gave him a chance. So, like I said, football does move on. It just hurts. Like, you've not really had a chance to celebrate winning the championship title, because 2-3 weeks later, this has happened. So,
well, he didn't really get long to celebrate winning the Champions League, in fairness, because within 6 days we had gone and got him from Man City. Like I say, I'm trying to have a look at this with blue, without my blue tinted glasses on, and as much as I could say, if we were to do a Burnley this time next season, those fans that are saying, "Oh, he's a Judas and he's leaving and all this," and some do, and I understand why, they would be saying, "We want him sacked. Let's get him out. Who's going to come in and save us?" We do as football fans. We have no loyalty to our managers. Ten Hag. I was watching you do the watch along the other day for the FA Cup. Man United beating Man City. Like I say, totally deserved. Man City just, I don't think, turned up, but Man United got the tactics. Ten Hag got everything right. And you were saying, can't believe we're going to be sacking this guy, blah, blah, blah. But, and I'm not saying you, but it was only a couple of weeks ago that a lot of Man United fans wanted him gone. That's football for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is football. And, who knows what Enzo would have done next season in the Premier League. These things, you just don't know these things. But it's annoying, upsetting probably for Leicester fans. But also at the same time, would you rather him leave now than the whole summer drag on? And like Dave said, I don't think this will, if this is like going to materialize into anything, if he is going to be a Chelsea manager next season, it'll be done before June. And with that 27th of May, it's looking like it's done, which gives Leicester.
Well, I'm just going to say, Fabrizio's just said this on X brackets, formerly Twitter brackets, 1 hour ago. Understand Chelsea and Enzo Maresca are set to agree on contract terms. 2-year deal with option for further season or 3-year deal. This is the final detail being clarified. Maresca already said yes to Chelsea project. Up to the clubs now to agree on compensation. So that's Fabrizio Romano. Doesn't mean it's 110% guaranteed, but it's 99% if he's saying it. Let's be honest with you, we know that. It is compensation. It has got a release clause, 10 million euro, I believe, 8.9 or something million pounds. So we're going to get something for it. Like you said, though, the good decision is that, and in fairness to Chelsea, they've done this early.
Yeah, you don't want this to drag on because it doesn't help. It doesn't help either team. Plus, we've got an international. Well, some countries have got an international tournament this summer.
You knew what I was going to say to that, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, that's why to just say some of us. Yeah, some of us have got an international tournament to focus on. That takes 3-4 weeks. So then that disturbs pre-season, disturbs like transfers and stuff, with players going off to the tournament, some players not, and the whole, some players playing for the country, some not. So the fact this is done before June is mental because the Euros kicks off on the 14th. So you've got 2 weeks before the Euros even gets underway to sort something out, which, like I said,
sorry, I was saying, and we've got 2 weeks before even the transfer window opens on the same day that Euros kicks off. So, we could potentially have a new manager in before before the transfer windows open. So we've got that, and that is a good thing. And, Chelsea don't seem to be hanging about. What surprises me with this, though, is that Maresca, wanted control. And I understand he is pissed off with the fact that Leicester didn't tell him about our financial troubles, although you would have thought he would have asked that, but there we go. So I understand he was pissed off. He wasn't happy that some of the crowd didn't get behind him. Well, we're not all Manchester City. We don't have, our worst isn't finishing, he's coming second for a few weeks. So, but I'm surprised he's going to Chelsea because you've got an owner there who, let's be honest with you, somebody said earlier, I know, Strip Bear's still in, so no disrespect, but he is clueless.
Yeah, and from a man that not demanded, but from a man who highly regarded himself on being a manager who has control, he's not going to get any of that at Chelsea. So the whole thing's a hypocrisy. You're going to go to a team where the owner may sign players. Maresca may give him a list of 6 players, and the owner will be like, no. Yeah, you can have him. And then Maresca's got to deal with players that have been bought under Poch, under Tuchel. There's so many players in that Chelsea team, just like Man United, obviously. There's so many players in certain teams that have got players bought from 4 or 5 different managers. So Enzo if anyone's going to succeed at Chelsea, they need to be able to rip it all apart and start again. With get rid of the players that don't really offer much to the team. Excuse me, and build his own team, build his own style, which is what he was doing at Leicester. Annoyingly,
well, that obviously is the main problem because the manager we get in may have a different style. So you literally, that's the main disruption. That he doesn't play with fullbacks, so all our fullbacks are sort of been loaned out or going to be sold or whatever. New manager might come in, might want different players, and then of course we've got a lot of players that aren't committed to the new contract yet, and it's bad enough sort of not knowing financially where we stand at the moment. But now obviously they don't know which manager they're going to be signing for. If you sign a new deal, let's say, for example, Vestergaard, all right, there's arguments as to how good he would be in the Prem because of his speed. But let's say if, Maresca's staying, he thinks, yeah, I'll stay because Maresca, likes me and he gets on and he's played me. Does he then think, well, hang on, who's coming in? Whoever comes in might not want me.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing. I know I said to you and Dave the other day when I was on that, whoever you bring in now, unless they are similar or if not identical to Enzo's style, they essentially have to rip it all up and start again.
Yeah,
and then those players that Enzo brought in may not want to be under this new style of play or this new regime. So it just, like I said to you as well, I think Leicester have already looked at replacements, and I didn't expect us to be on this show on Monday afternoon discussing him going, but I think the replacements are probably already in Top's mind.
We're going to go through sort of the odds in a minute. I'm sure once Chelsea made an approach, then if they're doing the job right, they're going to be thinking more than a 50% chance he'll go. No disrespect, but let's say, for example, West Ham would come in, or Burnley, because obviously they've just lost their manager. Then you may be thinking he probably he might not go. But with his Chelsea or United or Liverpool or whatever, you think there's a very good chance they are going to be looking. Sky reported an hour ago as well, all roads lead to Maresca. This is from Cavan. I can never spell his say his surname. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. All roads lead to Enzo Maresca becoming Chelsea's new head coach, and it could be announced in a matter of days. I mean, as I say, that is the good thing. They'll do it. I see Chelsea already could be moving for Leeds, Somerville, along with Liverpool. It's that time of year, isn't it? And I mean, let's be honest with you. Let's have a look. Every cloud's got a silver lining. Rooney's not available.
That shocked me when I saw that, because I follow a few Plymouth Argyle fans on Twitter, and they said Rooney ball. They were like tweeting Rooney ball. I was like, what? I was like, there's no way Wayne Rooney's going to Plymouth. And then when it got actually like officialized by their Twitter, I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
I think, to be honest with you, it's very interesting, because he'll either rebuild his career there, or he'll do bad there and then he'll never work again as a manager. So,
because Plymouth's ambitions realistically are not to be like top 10, are they? They're probably mid-table to staying up. So if he can just keep them above water next season and keep them up, then probably success.
We will see. What becomes of this. The Leicestershire Live, Enzo Maresca to Chelsea expected quickly after Leicester City approach. Look, for me, I think Leicester City are going to look at this and say, look, if it's going to happen, let's do it and get it over with. That was their attitude last summer with the transfers. Within a week or two of the season finishing, we'd got Maresca in, like I say, 6 days literally after the Champions League. So, hopefully everything's going to happen very quickly. Let's just have a look then at the next manager odds. Now, this is according to Sky Bet, and there's some interesting ones here. Shall we start at the bottom? We'll start at the bottom, which is 20-1. I have no idea who this guy is, so hopefully you'll help me with this one. Ketchy Kunston. It sounds like one of those questions we had in that quiz.
I don't know.
You do really. You're just denying it. Absolutely no idea. Let's have a look. Who he is? Oh, he exists. A Norwegian football coach. He manages. Bode Glimt, who had the European run last season. Yes. As Joseph just said, that's the Bode Glimt manager. Gray says, sounds like a source. I will catch up with everybody's comments in a bit, by the way. So he's 20-1. And I suppose the obvious way of looking at that is, well, if he did that well with them, 16-1, Will Still.
Yeah, Will Still's a manager I like. He, obviously, the story of Will Still is was playing Football Manager, just like as people do, playing Football Manager, and somehow he landed himself a football job. He finished, I believe, top 10 with Stade de Reims this season. I think he's only like in his early 30s as well. He is actually linked to the Sunderland job, but now this Leicester job has become available. There's a chance that obviously Leicester's an absolutely 10 times better prospect than Sunderland, with all due respect to Sunderland.
He's 31.
I thought he was very young.
He started 2017. He managed Lewes. 2021 Beerschot, and then, like you say, currently he is at Reims. Whether he's got the experience for the Premier League, I don't know. And there's where we get now, obviously, to the known names. Michael Carrick is 16-1. Obviously, one of your ex-guys.
Do you know what? I like Carrick a lot. I really what he done at Middlesbrough. I think they just about missed out on the playoffs. He is a good manager.
2 seasons running in fairness.
Yeah. And when he came in, I think they were in the relegation zone when they came in. Like I said, I think it reminds me of McKenna as well. I think it would take. I don't think it would take too much to get him out, but also I think it would take a lot. It's one of those weird ones. Carrick would be a good one. Again, would he leave Middlesbrough for Leicester? I probably would. You probably would have another chance at. Well, you'd have Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick both in the Premier League, who were both Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's assistants.
Yes,
that'd be funny.
That is true. Well, he is 16-1. Everybody was saying about him last season, and I said it's too early. You can't give him a job on the basis of one. Well, it wasn't even a full season at that time with Middlesbrough, but he did all right with them this season.
And he's got which is any manager that you get in, if they've got good contacts, it also helps a lot with players that you can bring in.
Well, he's 16-1 is Michael Carrick. There's a few at 16-1. This is unbelievable. Mauricio Pochettino, 16-1. To be totally honest with you,
straight swap.
Yes, I'd love him to come to Leicester and say, I'm going to come to Leicester and finish above Chelsea. That would be piss funny. But let's be honest with you, we cannot afford him. And I would think that if we said, because what I would normally say is he's obviously looking for big six clubs. He needs those big six clubs to be, with the sort of pulling power, spending money that they've got. But he did it okay at Southampton, didn't he?
Yeah, he completely changed Southampton, and then that's where he got the Tottenham job. Southampton's policy has been to bring through the youth through their youth academy, which is probably one of the best one of the best in England. What Southampton have produced. And like I said, would you take Pochettino? 100%. Any Leicester fan would snap their hand off at Pochettino because of his experience with Southampton mostly. Yes, he didn't really do much at the others, but that job at Southampton, who were not recently promoted, but Premier League team in recent time when they got promoted.
When he was there, yeah. And
it's just the finances about that one.
It is. We've got to think that we are under this PSR inquiry anyway. I don't think this is going to happen, and I think Brad would be really hoping it won't. 16-1 Frank Lampard, but I thought he'd almost certainly got the Burnley job.
Yeah, he's linked with Burnley job, but then I went onto a Burnley stream yesterday who were talking about company leaving. And everyone on the panel was saying that they're going to throw the season tickets away if Burnley approach Frank Lampard. So he may still be on the job centre list, Chris. But
yes, that may well be. Yes, thank God Jesse Marsh is at Canada. David Wagner, 16-1. I've got to say, please no.
Again, I don't know. I wouldn't go near that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The season that they had shouldn't be what Norwich have. It was Norwich, wasn't it? He was at
Wagner. Yes, he was. Yeah, they just sat
with Corberan. Sorry. Norwich City should always be as we've known them as a yo-yo. But they've not really lived up to expectations in the Championship the last couple of seasons. Wagner for me would. Yeah,
now, there's an interesting couple coming up here. They're all the 16-1s. 14-1, Rob Edwards.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Someone who worked well with a small budget last season with Luton.
Yeah, exactly.
And because obviously when they got relegated, he said, everyone managers say this. They don't always stay at the club, but he said that if I'm at Luton next season, if I'm lucky enough to stay at this club, then we won't be in a rush to splash every coin we've got to get straight back up. So maybe it could work at Leicester with the constraints financially.
Well, this is what I say. Let's say, for example, we go through Rob Edwards. Luton town fans will be doing exactly the same, saying exactly the same as we are now. Leicester coming in for our man, blah, blah, blah. So it's like that picture where you got one bird on the top and he's shitting on the next row, then they're shitting on the row underneath.
Yeah.
It
A
all
vicious
happens.
circle.
Yeah. Some managers will look, Rob Edwards may look at it and go, do you know what? I can either stay at Luton for the foreseeable future and I will have a job, not for life necessarily, but they're not going to want to sack him, even though he's taken them down. If he wants to stay, Luton will keep him.
Yeah.
But will his stock ever be as high as this again? And that's what I was saying earlier about, Enzo and whatever, and Potter when he went to Brighton. If he doesn't move now, Luton, his stock as a manager will never be as high because I don't think Luton will get back into the Premier League again.
Yeah, and you're going to get more light shone on you when you're because technically he's still a Premier League manager because the new season hasn't started. And so his most recent job will be you've managed in the Premier League. You nearly kept what a story. You nearly kept Luton in the Premier League, where next season he's just a championship manager like the rest of them. So his stock is the highest it'll ever be at the moment. Because I don't think he will take them up. I don't think. No offense to Luton, they were great, but I just don't know if we'll see them back again. But if he was to leave,
this next one is not one. After this, then I like all the rest of the contenders, but this one I'm not sure about. A lot of people in the chat have been typing his name though. Liam Rosenior, who obviously has just been sacked by Hull.
Again, Liam Rosenior is someone who wants control. I don't know what Leicester City's ownership, because the reason why he actually got sacked from Hull was because there was a disagreement with Hull's owners, and you can't blame Hull for sacking someone because I think you said it the other day. It's their club. They've got the right. If you don't want to play to their rules, they've got every right to get rid of you.
Same with Bowie at Chelsea, isn't it? He's one that's pumping the millions in. If he hadn't come in and bought the club, God knows where they'd be now. I'm sure probably somebody else would have bought them. But it's their money. He will get more control at Leicester than he got at. Top will back the managers. And
I like Rosenior. I really like Liam Rosenior. I've said it before. He's an intelligent coach. He really is. But I just think that
he's got the experience at the moment for Leicester.
I don't think he's got the experience to keep a team in the Premier League. No.
Right, so he's 10. Well, he's 10-1. The others now go from up from 8 up to 4-1. Any of these next ones, next 5, I would say yes to. Starting at 8-1. I know where he's got history. I know people are probably going to say no, Chris, no. Steve Cooper.
Good shout. Very good shout.
So, I wouldn't mind that.
When we talk about managerial stock and people's managerial stock being at a high or low depending on where they are currently, I think Steve Cooper's still someone who, yes, he's not in a job at the moment, but I still think his stock is probably as high as what it was when he was at Forest because he's so reputable and because a lot of people know him. A lot of people know what he is. Don't forget, he won the under-20 World Cup with England, I think it was, or under-18 World Cup with England. He got Swansea to 2 championship playoffs. Football's not loyal, so the Nottingham Forest link shouldn't really come into it because football's not loyal these days. So
Wes Morgan, we got Wes Morgan from Nottingham Forest as well. But look, Steve Cooper, he was sacked by Nottingham Forest when they were in a better position, I think, than they finished because I think they were around the same position when they sacked him, weren't they?
Yeah.
Or were they in the bottom 3? I can't remember.
I don't actually think they're in the bottom 3. I can't quite remember because I know
they were certainly around that, which is why they sacked him, obviously. But he'd kept a team, and I think keeping Forest a bit like Leicester. We are not the team from 9 seasons ago when we won the Premier League, and Forest aren't the same team that won the 2 European Cups in succession. So keeping them in the Premier League last season was a great job that he did. And I think he would have probably kept them up this season, to be honest with you. But look, there we go. So I'm just updating here. No news coming through at the moment. Now then, here's where it does get really, really interesting. 7-1, David Moyes.
I said it to you the other day. I have no idea why Leicester fans are turning their nose down at David Moyes.
Oh, I don't know.
Kept West Ham in the league. Because he kept them in the league, then he left, then he came back and kept them up again. Yeah. He's won them a European Cup. Yeah. And I don't believe, apart from last season, I think they finished like 13th, but they won a European Cup, and another top 10 finish this season. I think people still look at him, Chris, of his Man United catastrophe.
Was it a catastrophe though? Was he given? I mean, look, whoever follows Pep,
no, he wasn't given enough time. No, I agree, but I don't know where it would have went if he was given the time.
No, we don't. Nobody will ever know.
No one knows. Yeah.
Do I want to be the man? Let's say I was a football manager. Do I want to be the man that follows Pep? No. Would I want to be the man that followed Fergie? I'd buggery. That it was, there's a lot more involved in that. We all know the history. So I don't think he was given enough time. I think he's a good manager. I spoke to Jake, who looks after West Ham, unofficial, and he's completely underwhelmed by the guy that they've got in. It was from Wolves manager, wasn't he?
I've said that to loads of people. I said West Ham will be down there next season with Lopetegui.
Yeah, I thank you for saying that. Lost the tag. I can't pronounce his name. But I think David Moyes would be a really good shout, to be honest with you, as the next stage manager.
Yeah, Moyes would probably... I know this is not... You say this, and most Leicester fans say it, and I agree. This is not the Leicester that were here last time in the Premier League, but David Moyes wouldn't... I don't think David Moyes would only accept, 17th. He would want to really push and kick Leicester on to progress, which you probably won't get you like top 8, top 9, but that don't have to come for the next 4 or 5 seasons. It's just mid-table.
If he wins the European Conference League, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's I mean, whoever comes in, let's be honest, we're going to have to be looking at 15th, 16th, 17th at the best, really. Especially because we're probably going to get a points deduction and then move on from there. I think David Moyes is a really good shout. Somebody else, as in fact James Dunlop, obviously he was manager at James's club Everton. And we are rushing for time because I'm on TalkSport 2. If anybody, when we finish this, wants to hear me have I don't know if I have a rant or not, because I'm not really ranted on here, have I? But I'm on TalkSport 2 at about 4:30 this afternoon, straight after this. 4-1, and that's Carlos Corberan. A lot of people are shouting for him in the chat.
Great shout, great manager. I saw again that Burnley stream that I was watching. They were saying, "Get us Carlos Corberan." I think the guy, again, we talk about managerial stock. It's one that it's so important to a manager if you've got it at that given time when a vacant job comes available, and it's like London buses. You wait ages for a job to come, and then like 5 or 6 of them appear at once. I like Corberan a lot. What he's done with not a poor West Brom team, but an average West Brom team is incredible. And I generally think if he would have a better quality squad, which Leicester have got in squad, Leicester have got to what West Brom have, I think he could do a lot better than. I think he could keep you in the league as a minimum. I really like Corberan.
Yeah, I wouldn't be totally opposed to him. I've got to be honest with you.
And he also plays a similar-ish style to Enzo, which is in a perfect type of situation because you don't want to completely change the system. So I have to cut you off
No, that's fine. No, exactly. Was 4-1. Literally, while we've been looking at it, he's gone out to 5s. And again, I think if we offered this to any Leicester fan, they wouldn't just bat your hand off. I think they'd take you off up to the elbow. Mr. Graham Potter. He's magic, you know.
Yeah, great. Graham Potter needs a job to. I know Dave was saying he doesn't need it because he's still getting paid off by Chelsea, but I still think he needs a job to get his worth back again, to get his pedigree and his reputation. I don't think he's lost his pedigree. I don't think he's lost it at all. I just think the media want to throw Chelsea flop at him. You know, he failed at Chelsea and all of this stuff. So I don't know why anyone would not take him, because he is a really good manager. What he done at Brighton was, and actually I said it to you the other day about De Zerbi, didn't I? And looking back at it, was what De Zerbi done down to De Zerbi, or was it the mould that Graham Potter put in place for Brighton? I went back and looked at it, and I was like, okay, maybe Chris was right. Yes, Chris was right, is what I said, chat. Hang
on, just crop that. Thank you. Carry on.
No, but I think what De Zerbi done getting them into Europe was the mould and the build what Potter put in place, and Potter was in the same position as Maresca is right now. He was like, I've done an amazing job with Brighton, obviously Maresca with Leicester. Let's take this Chelsea job because it may not come around again.
I think, again, had he stuck at Chelsea, I mean, let's face it, they've not had the best of seasons, have they? And, you know, surely Maresca's looking at this job and going, why is somebody with Poch's managerial experience, and all right, it didn't work out for Southampton at Tottenham, but he got them to a Champions League final. Yes, we know they came third in the 2-horse race, etc., etc. But he didn't do anything disastrous there. These clubs just think, you know, they can do better, and it doesn't always work out. Look at Nottingham Forest. Look at Brighton. But you know, I just wonder why he's going there. But look, yeah, I'd jump at Potter, to be honest with you, and I think his stock for the England job has gone out. Has gone by the by now. I think he could have been up for the England job. But I think you're looking at one man now, and I think he's in the northeast. But
Eddie Howe, yeah,
exactly, yeah. Joint favourite, and then we'll quickly after this we'll have a look at a couple that haven't been mentioned. Mark Robins, 4-1, Coventry City manager, and of course he's got the Leicester connections.
He has got the Leicester connections. He saved one legend's job as well, didn't he, Mark Robins?
Yes, he did.
He's again. If I was Leicester, I wouldn't be looking. Oh, he's managing Coventry. Like some fans may look at Cooper. Though he's managed them. Again, he's another manager who's constantly. I don't care what no one says, has overperformed, overachieved with a Coventry squad in the Championship. And again, you look at managers who I think the best managers are the ones that can do immensely with poor squads or with low budgets. That's how you can, because these managers, they get 400-500 million. You expect them to win things when you've got that much money to spend. Mark Robins again would be another one. Missed out on the playoffs this season. Got to the playoff final last year. Was 9 minutes away from the Premier League.
Yeah,
and he's brought them up
a lot closer to an FA Cup final this year.
Yes, yeah.
I hate to remind you about that, young Michael, but
yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
you might have done for now.
Very good manager, Mark Robins, and obviously I love him as a Man United fan.
yeah. I mean, I know Gray's just said then there. No, not Robins, and certainly Banana, Pearson, and Shaky. I think his time's passed now. I don't, he's come back, so you can't say that managers coming back don't work, because it did, but no, not a third time for Pearson. I think the game's moved on a little bit now. So
And he got sacked from a mid-table, or not got sacked, but he left a mid-table Bristol City, which sort of
I
for
think
me,
he was sacked. I think,
yeah,
but you know, he's been sacked a few times since he left us. Watford, Derby, you know.
yeah.
To give him the Chelsea job, he'd put Bowie in his place. Couple that are missing there. I tell you what, Thomas Frank's not been mentioned.
Yeah, Thomas Frank, God praise the Lord, has been linked with the Man United job, and apparently, Sir David Brailsford, a part of the new board members, have met with Thomas Frank recently. So I don't know what links that'll be with that. But Thomas Frank again is another one who's used an insane scouting network that what Brentford have, where they buy players cheap, sell them on for big, which is what Leicester have done so often. Obviously, Maguire, Mahrez, these players that you've basically found the gem and then got a bit of the dirt off the gem and brought and sold out a sparkling diamond, which is what Brentford have their mold is. And I think that Thomas Frank, he's been flirted away with moves from Brentford, and he's constantly said, there's a project here, and he's kept them in the Premier League ever since he's been there. And I think maybe he would jump ship now, because I think he's left Brentford in a good place, that if they were to lose him, they could still stay afloat.
James Dunlop said Robbins has done a good job at Coventry, but let's say if we went to Leicester, it's a different ball game. All I will say is, look at the shit he's had to put up with Coventry. At one point while he was there, they didn't even have their own ground. So he's put up with a lot.
Do you think as well, Chris, though, if you went for Robbins or Cooper, who have previously managed, or one is and one previously managed a rival, that the fans would give him less time or less wiggle room to, if it doesn't go well, do you think they would turn the back on him a lot quicker than what you would a Potter or a Corberan?
I think they would do with anybody. If Potter came in and lost the first 10 games, they'd be having to go at him. Look at Enzo, 17 points clear, and people were moaning that he was boring and he had to go. There was one Leicester guy went on to a Leeds channel after we lost to Plymouth, saying Enzo out, I don't want him near my club. So it is what it is. I think they moan about everybody. Robbins apparently says that he did turn down the Leicester job last season. You know more than I do then, Paul, because I didn't know that. And to be totally honest with you, I don't even think he was offered it. I think a long time before, once relegation had happened, we'd been talking to Maresca for a while, I think. He did not come and make that decision in 6 days, I don't believe. Not to Leicester, who have just been relegated. We would have been talking to him for quite a while.
You're probably talking to the new manager as well. The manager that'll be managing in August. You're probably talking to him right now.
Probably. Oliver Glasner. Now, I just want to quickly mention him because Andy's mentioned him a few times. He's at Palace, isn't he?
Yeah, he's absolutely changed that club when he came in. Obviously, they had Roy at the start of the season, and I think he's lost one game since he's been at Palace. Obviously, that was a 4-2 defeat to Man City, 4-0 hammering of Man United. I think they beat Villa on the final day, 5-0 or 5-1. They've got an incredible team that he's worked well with. Again, I don't see there's any way he leaves Palace. Don't get me wrong, I agree with Andy, obviously, saying Glasner, because any fan right now of I'd say below the original top 6 would take him, and
he's been there since mid-February, so he's been there February to March, April, May. He's been there 3 months. And why would a manager at Palace think, when he's been there 3 months, you're going, I'll go to what? I'll go to Leicester. I've not only just got re-promoted, might be being docked anything, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points, whatever. I'll go to them. You're not going to, I don't think, as good as he is. And again, are we presuming, managers' fortunes can turn round, especially, yes, he had a good season last season, but, I think it's a bit early to sort of be going for him. But we will see. Time will tell. It's it's never boring following Leicester, I'll tell you. Mike, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Give everybody a shout out as to where they can find you.
Yeah, so Mike Green on YouTube, obviously Newport content on there, the Euros content. Yes, we're not in it, as Chris will allude throughout the Euros every time I join in for one of his watch-alongs or shows or whatever. Wales are not there, so I'll be watching the Euros as a total neutral for the first time in 3 European Championships. That feels weird saying that. But yeah, so watch
you won't be a total neutral though. You will be
Danish, Slovenian, and Serbian.
Yeah, anybody but England. That's who you'll be. Yeah. So it's Mike Green. Get over there, give him a follow. I'm going to follow me over to TalkSport 2. I will be on there unless they change their mind. I'll be on there in about 7 minutes. Mike, thanks very much, mate. Look, it's never boring being a Leicester fan. Who's in? Who's out? Who knows? This is Leicester. Take care, and thanks a lot, Mike, for coming on. I'll speak to you soon, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Bye, everyone as well. Bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.